How to complete a research-based disclosure in Cayuse. A research-based disclosure, or RBD, is a project-specific disclosure in Cayuse. It is tied to a single proposal or award, and it must be completed by everyone who is listed as key personnel on that particular project. When a proposal or an award is routed for review in Cayuse, the Cayuse system automatically sends an email to all key personnel notifying them that an RBD has been generated in Cayuse for them to complete. That email includes a direct link to the RBD for that specific project. Let's walk through how to complete the RBD in Cayuse. We will begin with the email notification that you would receive as a key investigator on either a proposal or an award that has been routed for review. So here you can see this is the email that gets sent to a key investigator on a project that tells them that they have a research-based disclosure that they need to complete. And here is the link that you would click on to go to that research-based disclosure. So if you click on it, it takes you right into your disclosures dashboard. And then you would select the research-based disclosure that you need to complete. Here, this is the research-based disclosure that we need to complete for this particular proposal. So if you click on it, the form will populate. Okay, so on this form, you have various sections along the left-hand side that you see need to be completed. There is a red circle with a number in each section telling you the required items that you must complete in each section. On this first section, which is the policy and training page, you can see we have a hyperlink to our university policy on financial conflict of interest and sponsored activities, as well as a blue hyperlink to our website that discusses the requirements for FCOI training. We also have a definition section that tells you what a significant financial interest is and what an institutional responsibility is. And here we would like for you, after you've read the policy and the training requirements, here you would click the box saying you acknowledge the disclosure and training requirements set forth in the university policy. You'll see that the green circle, or the circle, turns to green, and you can move on to the next section, which is remuneration. Okay. On this remuneration section, you start off with essentially one question, which is, in the past 12 months, have you, your spouse, or dependent children received $5,000 or more in remuneration from an outside organization that is related or reasonably appears to be related to your institutional responsibilities at the university? If you click no, then you are done with this section. You can see that this section turns green and you can move on to the next one. However, if you do have remuneration to disclose, you would click on yes, and then add new relationship, this blue button here on the side. A box will appear for you to select the organization that you need to disclose for remuneration. We have several organizations already loaded into the Cayuse system. So as you start typing, you might see yours is already in our system. And if so, you can go ahead and select it. If you do not see your organization listed when you start typing, you can add it to our system by clicking on this button, Request New External Organization. So for purposes of this training, I'm going to select ABC Disney. And now we have a few questions that we need to complete related to ABC Disney. The first is, who received the remuneration from this organization? You would select all that apply: self, spouse, or dependent children. Is the organization publicly traded or privately held? Estimate the total dollar value of the remuneration received in the past 12 months. We have a drop-down box for you to select the range. Is the organization a foreign entity? If it is, and you select yes, then in the box below, we want you to list the country the organization's located in. If it's within the US, and you can select no, and then just leave this box blank. So those are all the questions related to ABC Disney. If you have another organization that you need to disclose related to remuneration, then you would select the Add New Relationship button down here in the right-hand corner and repeat the process where you start typing the name of the organization you need to disclose and answer the associated questions. There's a few more questions related to all of the remuneration, and that is, the next one is the remuneration disclosed above for consulting services that you provide? If it is yes, another question appears asking you to select the statement which best describes your consulting work. And then the very last item on this page is asking you to write in the text box, describe how the remuneration disclosed is related to the work on this proposal or award or this sponsored project. If there's no relationship to this particular project, then just state this. So you can just say it is not related. We're going to scroll up to the top, and you can see that we have a green check mark and that we've completed all of the required items for this section. Now we can move on to the next section. These next several sections operate in the same manner the remuneration section does, in that there's one question to start off with, asking you if you have something to disclose. So for this equity interest, it's asking you, do you have any equity interest to disclose within the past 12 months? If the answer is no, you're selecting no, and you're moving on to the next section. It's only when you select yes that you have the other boxes pop up for you to answer the questions. For the sake of this training, we're going to select no to these next sections so we can move through the form. And then when we get to the very last section, which is the certification section, you will see the first question that we need to answer is this sponsored project associated with human subjects? You can select yes or no. The next one is an acknowledgement that you acknowledge all of the requirements related to financial conflicts of interest. The next section or the next item is the certification, saying that what you've disclosed on this form is complete, accurate, and true. And then enter your MSU net ID. And then the very next one is an opportunity if you want to attach any documents that might be related to this disclosure or relevant to this disclosure, you can do that. So here, and you'll see that we have a completed form in that every section has a green check mark. And when you're ready, you can submit this to our office for review and approval. The submission button is in the upper right-hand corner. Once you select that, then you would click the proceed button, and that would submit it to our office for review and approval.